This presentation will be exploring sexism in gaming culture that is resulting in women being targeted with misogynistic abuse. I'll be including some key concepts and crucial evidence to argue why this issue needs to change. To start, we need to look at socialization theory. This theory is the cultural socialization of gender roles that are infiltrated onto individuals depending on their biological sex. For example, men are correlated with hegemonic masculine traits like being aggressive and egotistic, while women are taught feminine traits like nurturing and sensitivity, who rely on a male to give them a comfortable life. This type of socialization is most important during childhood, where children begin the learning of their expected gender roles and that extends into their adult life. Gender-assigned toys are an important element of socialization theory. These include soldiers and guns to portray masculinity, and feminine toys like dolls to enhance the nurturing nature. However, this element of gender assignment has now advanced into video games. Due to the modern era technology, video games are becoming easily attainable, especially to the younger generation. As a result, this becomes a part of their socialization, creating a new type of modernized play, away from toys and into virtual gaming. As you can see in this clip from Super Mario, the Princess Peach is being kidnapped and shouting out for help, while Mario comes to the rescue. This unfortunately shows how these socialised patriarchal structures illustrate women as damsels in distress and weak in video games, who need to be saved by a hero who is a male. Not only is this representing the weakness expected from women, but it shows masculinity expectations placed onto men that they need to protect women, which can turn into a form of possession. Not only this, but women are also hypersexualised in video games that target them as an outlet for violence. As you can see from this clip of Grand Theft Auto, the women are dressed in revealing tight outfits with slim bodies and big breasts, while being brutally killed by weapons and cars committed by a muscular male character. From watching both clips, I can see how gaming has become more graphic and threatening the portrayal of expected gender roles that tell young women that they should attain high beauty standards and sexiness, while also showing young men that aggression is still a trait to obtain by providing a visual representation of how women can be used as an object for violence and sexual tendencies. As a result, this representation of gender roles in video games can manipulate the attitudes that males of all ages have towards women, creating their assumption of how women should act around them and the way that women should be treated. Furthermore, misogynistic abuse towards women is exacerbated, especially in the gaming community. Women are being more discredited and harassed by male gamers with comments like, "You're ugly, you're always going to lose to a dude, and go back to the kitchen." One example of this harassment would be what happened to Zoe Queen, a female game developer who released her own game but received backlash from male gamers who employed various death and rape threats towards her. Another gamer, Felicia Day, was torn apart by a male gamer for no reason and belittled her to just a sexual object on his public platform. This represents the sickening reality of how depictions of females in video games can create the acceptance for men to abuse women and see them as just sexual objects that can be violated, while also showing rejection towards women for becoming game developers due to the portrayal of them being weak. It is also important to acknowledge that black women are also at the forefront of abuse in the gaming community. Not only do black women experience misogynistic abuse, they endure racist abuse on top of it. A study discovered that African American characters in games were regularly perpetuated as threatening and vexed, fueling the room for racist slurs. Sadly, this shows another example of how games portray the outsider group in a negative light and allows racial stereotypes to continue. Female black game developer J. Ann Lopez, who is pictured here, described her abuse during gaming in this statement. "I've been called the N-word, I've been asked if I can twerk on camera, someone has told me to go and make them some chicken. This is all whilst gaming online via chat." This provides an example of the different sorts of racist comments towards black women in gaming. Moreover, this type of sexist racist abuse can also be argued to be influenced by socialization, where white people learn to perceive the black body with racial disgust. Therefore, belittling a black woman and depicting a black woman's body results in white people being in control of black people. This keeps white people up high in the racial hierarchy. There is also a major factor at play here as to why men dislike women gamers, and not just because of the way that women are portrayed in games. Studies have found that the misogynistic abuse from male gamers is motivated by the worry of their status within the social hierarchy being abolished and challenged by women, resulting in abusive methods to push women away. This is prevalent when male gamers may lose a game to a female gamer, as they cannot risk their masculinity that they have been socialised to obtain to be tarnished by losing to a woman who has been socialised to be powerless compared to them. They see gaming as their space, and they construct women as an other who become a threat. Social identity theory can help support these issues as to what I have discussed here. This concept explains how individuals grasp feelings of fulfillment when accepted into a group, where they create meaningful links within the group, resulting in perceiving other groups as outsiders. Additionally, this theory illustrates the hatred served by men on white women and women of colour in the gaming community because of the historical nature of these groups being outsiders and the dominance of male groups within the social status of society. Further evaluating the issue of sexism in the gaming community can take us outside of the game community and into society. What I'm talking about here is that harassment in the game community mirrors the current societal issue of workplace harassment. For example, a study found that sexual harassment is more prevalent in male-dominated workspaces who embody masculine characteristics like aggressiveness, antagonistic, and gameness, with 52% of women reporting that they have been sexually harassed in the workplace. Comparable to sexism in the gaming community, men have also shown similar traits of feeling the risk of their social hierarchy being dismantled by a woman who has infiltrated their space and disrupts the male authenticity of the workplace with their classical feministic traits of sensitiveness and delicacy. These women are the outsider group who are challenging historical norms of not being included and threatening the in-group that is saturated with male dominance. This picture illustrates further on sexism in gaming. As you can see by this image, the man is putting his middle finger up to the woman for interrupting his game and avoiding even looking at her, showing emphasis on what I have previously mentioned about how males perceive gaming as their space, which she has rudely interrupted. Him putting up his middle finger symbolises the F word, an insult that resembles the aggressiveness and abuse that women experience from men during gaming. Unsurprisingly, there is a poster of a woman in a bikini in the back, while the woman who is disrupting him is dressed in minimal clothing. This enacts the way that women are sexually objectified in gaming with slim-bodied clothing. Another portrayal that I have noticed in this picture is how the man has short hair, but the woman has longer hair that is tied into a ponytail. This shows how men and women are influenced, especially during childhood, to associate short hair with men and longer hair with women due to their biological sex. Evidently, this highlights what I mentioned at the beginning of this presentation, that video games contribute to the stereotypical gender norms which is inflicted onto the young and developing generation, who learn from not just toys, but video games. What makes this image worse is that the GTA logo is on the picture, meaning this image was made by the game developers. This displays that game developers are guilty of allowing misogynistic abuse because of their influential power as game creators above gamers who learn from them and what they portray. This is how the picture should look. A man and a woman playing together and enjoying each other's company, unlike the GTA picture, representing that gaming should not just be a male space. As you can see, the woman is not hypersexualized either in minimal, slim clothing. I chose to include the leopard print blanket because historically, leopard print materials have symbolized wealth, power, and sexuality of women. In the 1980s, when consumerism was rising, women in the workplace were only taken seriously when wearing masculine clothing, due to the distaste of portraying any feministic trait that would not be taken seriously. Because leopard print was associated with domesticity and sexuality, it was viewed as a material for the male gaze and displayed weakness. Despite this, women challenged this narrative by wearing leopard print to confront this misogynistic view of leopard print, by using it as a weapon to send the message to men that they embody authority and confidence over them. I found this interesting as I have spoken about harassment in the workplace. This shows that women are not weak and have to be a subject to harassment, but they are imaginative and inventive by reclaiming the ideas of leopard print to assert their unappreciated power within the workforce. I have found the influence of stereotypical gender norms within video games, specifically targeted towards children, has an immense impact on men and women's relationship with each other, which has contributed to the issue of women receiving misogynistic abuse from men. As a result, I believe that women should be more influential in gaming and not just discredited to a sexual object that is too weak to be independent. This is important in the portrayal of black women as well, as I have stated how they have extra abuse of racism on top of sexism because of the racist and sexist characteristics of them shown in gaming, also showing a need for black feministic critique. We are a rapidly changing society where women are slowly becoming more recognised for their abilities and strengths rather than their assumed outdated gender role in society, which gaming needs to reproduce. It is also interesting to find how sexism in gaming is just like the issue of workplace harassment, showing how male-dominated areas like both of these environments is a problem within society that needs to appreciate women and educate on how women should be treated.